Today, we become legends.
Hey, my name's Inter, welcome back to the channel. Yesterday's Titan Talk had a lot of useful information and community questions that I think is worth sharing in a more condensed format for those that don't want to watch the full VOD or don't have the time. Let me know in the comments if this kind of thing is useful for you and I could make videos like this more often going forward if there's enough useful information given in future Titan Talks, but let's jump in. Soul Reaver is something they're looking at for balancing currently. Some other sources of damage are currently showing up as Reaver on the T-screen, so that number isn't always accurate, but they are aware it's too strong in general and are looking at nerfs for it. Text chat on console is being worked on and is pretty much ready, but they are waiting on certification passes from Microsoft and Sony as it falls under user-generated content guidelines, which are quite strict. Expect text chat for console in about a month from now. God Builder falls under similar rules as they are working on expanding it to include more features like custom headers such as core items, counter build items, rush items, etc., as well as allowing players to add explanations as to when and why to build each item in the preset. This will also come with shareable build presets that players or content creators can link to others to and import directly into the game, which is really cool functionality in my opinion. However, it counts as user-generated content much like text chat does, and so they're likely going to try and pass certification for both of these features at once on console in roughly a month from now. They mentioned a potential updated God roadmap after Barry launches, which will discuss the next gods coming to the game, as well as any potential changes to the original plan of one god a week until August due to the restructuring at high-res that might conflict with that original goal. Accolades and a proper screen for them is on the radar, but probably not super soon as they have other more important things that the UI team is working on, but accolades are still being tracked and will retroactively show up once the system is added, so don't worry, your pentakill count is safe. One of the things the UI team is working on is HUD editor, which is in progress, and the team are deciding if it's better to ship a more bare bones version of it sooner and update later, or just ship a complete package a few months from now. If you didn't know, a basic HUD editor does exist in the game right now, but it doesn't save your settings between matches, so it's kind of useless. Full tanks being weak is something they've said they're aware of and have been playtesting some solutions internally as recently as this week. Tanks really don't exist late game in Smite 2, even with the uncapped protection, so it will be interesting to see what solution they come up with here, as simply buffing tank items will just result in bruiser builds that are already strong being even stronger. A tweak to the protection formula or damage mitigation that scales off of your protections could be a good way to go. Esports might come back to the Smite Game Twitch channel in a very limited capacity, such as basic casting for tournaments like the Bobby Cup that is happening fairly soon. Hindu Man is still with high-res and wants to work on esports stuff, but I highly doubt it will have as much production value and will be mostly to boost community efforts at esports, I assume. Twitch drops are also back on in the Smite 2 category if you weren't aware yet. They now grant wandering market coins. The environment art team were hit pretty hard by the layoffs, but they are still working on things behind the scenes and are aware that a conquest visual update is something the community wants as a priority. They are still figuring out if they want to ship something like that versus shipping an assault map first though. They are aware of the consumable issue in conquest but don't have a fix they're happy with yet, as console complicates things due to the lack of suitable button binds. My phantom consumable slot idea is always there, high-res, that's all I'm saying. Multiple global emote slots is something they're going to add pretty soon, likely through VXG 1, 2, 3, etc., and not an emote wheel, as apparently that wouldn't play well on console. God leaderboards and frames are in the works, but probably aren't coming soon due to the UI team working on more important things. They're aware of data mining and various leaks that happen, but would rather just let people see that stuff and ship updates faster than waste time trying to hide it all. There aren't any plans for separate NA servers like NA East, Central, and West, as they want to keep the player base together for better matchmaking and shorter queue times, though they are testing multiple locations in the US to see which gets the best overall outcomes for the most players. A store page is in the works with a featured tab to showcase new cosmetics and skins coming to the game. They also said they are shifting their focus a little more towards skins, but are still focusing more heavily on the core development of the game, but expect more skins than we've had in the last few months going forward. There is currently no plan to separate the jump and interact binds, which is unfortunate to hear. Apparently it takes more work than you think to do and also has issues on console with limited binds. You can turn jump off completely in the settings though if that's something you want to do. They're aware of balance issues with aspects but are prioritizing getting every god's aspect finished over fine-tuning their balance, which can come later. They are of course looking at certain outliers like Humbats or Amaterasu though. They're looking at ways to tweak wandering market progress as well. They do want to make it fast enough that casual players who don't play that much can still earn a good amount of content, but not so fast that a dedicated player can earn everything within a week or two and then amass a ridiculous amount of coins that have no use. They're also planning to let players buy wandering market coins directly with diamonds when the next collection launches, but wanted to hold off on doing that for the first collection, both to avoid appearances of greed and to have a more focused test of how fast players can actually earn coins before letting you buy them. They didn't say this and it's just my take, but maybe some kind of system where you earn lots of coins for your first hour or two of play and then slowly earn less and less afterwards could help alleviate the issue of dedicated players earning way too fast, while keeping the casual players able to buy some stuff from the market. They want to incentivize ranked, but they want to go about it in the right way. Systems that give players crazy rewards like loads of diamonds can result in players who wouldn't normally play ranked and don't take it seriously to hit the queues and upset the experience for those who play ranked to win and climb the ladder. They don't want to force people to play ranked and ruin the competitive atmosphere, so some more soft incentives are more likely than straight up giving people free stuff for playing ranked. They mentioned that they prefer to drop skins in big batches on the launch of a patch rather than drip feeding them because they sell better that way. If they drop a skin in the middle of a patch cycle, people aren't following the news as much and don't know the skin exists. Whereas dropping them all in a batch and mentioning them in patch notes helps boost awareness that these skins are now in the game. Console is unlikely to get 120 FPS anytime soon unless major strides are made in optimization. The game just can't run at 120 FPS consistently on current gen consoles. Optimization is something they're always looking at and is possible in the future, but for now it's unlikely to be soon. Cinematics aren't planned currently as they are extremely expensive and don't have the return on investment they once had in terms of bringing in players. They mentioned that the To Hell and Back Bologna cinematic cost $1 million, which is kind of crazy. Someone asked about a Smite 2 Odyssey and they said there are no plans currently for it, but if the community is interested then they'd be willing to make it happen. Hopefully they do, in my opinion. I think an Odyssey would be a great way to go now that they're putting more skins into the game. They are planning improvements to the recommended tab as well, and the new God Builder will probably help out a lot with this. Community members could even submit their presets for approval to be on the recommended tab, which should help improve the quality of those builds and keep them more up to date with meta shifts. But that's all the important stuff discussed on the Titan Talk for February 12th. Let me know if this was useful for you, and I will consider making more of these going forward if there's a lot of new information discussed on a certain episode, or I could even recap the entire week or something like that. Let me know what you guys think about the format down below, and I'll catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.